Hello again. I just want to say that I'm still waiting for a science fiction film or book that has a happy ending. Um, yes, there are many science fiction films that I have admired very much and have sort of felt a lot of sympathy with watching and emotion about, like Wally. I don't. I sort of admire some of the filmmaking. Um, I like cartoony type characters that were not, you know. I like things like Wally and Pixar and all those types of films that are animated films, somewhat, or I don't know how they make them all the time. But as I say, I'm still waiting for a science fiction book or film with a happy ending that's not a tagged on happy ending, but a truly optimistic ending, looking forward further. Um, Now, I did sort of approach people about this some years ago. I've lately found out, I think Elon Musk is doing, has been doing somewhat of a great job publicising some of the dilemmas we're in as a human race. I don't. Unfortunately, it does somewhat seem as though we're now approaching something of a race against time situation, which is obviously very worrying for all of us. However, it may not be that we're in a race against time, um, but certainly it looks like some kind of change may be inevitable, whether it's imposed upon us or promulgated by us. Now, I have lately found out that, in fact, according to Google, according to NASA actually, and Google, it takes about 3 years to get to Mars. Now, I did look up also the petrol load needed for that, because although obviously when one is in space, you may not need all that much. The rocket's initial impact takes up a lot of petrol. But people have forgotten, when they're sort of thinking that space doesn't have a gravity in the same way as the Earth's own atmosphere does. People have slightly forgotten that nevertheless a spaceship would need petrol to impel itself in a direction somewhat, and to steer the maneuver to an upcoming planet that may, however, take years to reach, 3 years to reach Mars. Now, according to Google, in fact, the petrol load needed is and would be enormous to keep one going in space for 3 years without stopping to refill. And then, as I did say earlier, it is said that spacecraft have successfully landed on planets other than simply on the moon, which is obviously an enormous feat anyway, if that is to be believed, that the moon has been stepped upon and landed on. A lot of the planets I thought may have their own gravity also, and on entry into their atmosphere, there might need to be sort of further navigation and slowing down and so on. I think that really when spacecraft seems to return here by films, I've been in a spaceship. I have been in what was said to be a spaceship at the NASA headquarters in Florida. Yes, according to films, the parachutes from them may land in the sea, but if one is arriving on an alien planet, one presumably might not even know where the sea is, if there is any. I'm not trying to pour cold water terribly over the hope that if what we've been told is true, and that there are other planets that aren't just sort of mirages up high, then certainly more thinking about the matter is somewhat required, perhaps, through science fiction writing. But as I say, I'm still hoping as well for a science fiction story with an optimistic ending.